I'm not one to avoid expressing and giving my opinion because of civil instability that is definitely taking place from a culture of oppression. You know what? Let me look at something here real quick from the Bible. I mean, it's the same book. It's the same exact book that everybody claims to carry in this country, but it's interpreted many different ways. I'm gonna go over here to the book of James. I'm gonna start this video right here because most people, you hear me all the time. You've been listening to me any length of time whatsoever at all. I talk about the social, the political, the economic, and the religious health of this country, be it sick or healthy. And right now, every aspect of this country is sick, and sick to the core. Now, listen to me very closely. I'm going to read the Bible that the Christians in this country gave us, and I'm going to quote it verbatim for what it says. And I'm going to show you how that they don't believe this. Now, again, this Michael Brown situation, this Ferguson thing, is not going away. And that's the reason why I'm going to give commentary and dialogue, because most of you have not had experiences with what they call justice system, or this system of what they call justice. Because I haven't never felt that I've received any justice. You may have believed that you have received justice. That's because when you're naive, you're dumbed down, you've been stupefied, and these people are oppressing you and taking advantage of you. You have no idea what's going on. Have you ever been into the court system and felt like that you didn't receive justice and you just literally got raped, and your ability to resist or even state your side of the case, it fell on deaf ears? And the reason why it fell on deaf ears is because they don't care about what you have to say. Justice is interpreted by those who make the laws, who establish the law, and they're not asking for us our opinion. Now, let me go to James. All right? Listen what it says. James chapter 2, verses 5 and 6. Hearken, my beloved brethren. Have not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him? James chapter 2, verse 6. But you, I said I was going to quote it verbatim, but ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats? James chapter 2, verse 7. Do not they blaspheme that worthy name by the which ye are called? And the truthful answer to all that is an absolute yes. You see, here's the problem we got in our country right here. What is going on, or what has taken place in Ferguson, Missouri, is a microcosm of what is taking place all across this land. Let me give you a hypothetical situation. If you are a police officer, you are in a professional, that's what they say, you're in a professional job, so therefore you should carry yourselves professionally. I'm going to give you two responses right here. Listen to me. Police officer drive down the street. Hypothetical situation. We don't know if this is so, but watch this. Police officer drive down the street, sees a young man, just happened to be a white police officer, black man. Now, already understanding the fabric of this country, the establishment at every end is playing with the souls of men, be they black or white. And they're making sure that they keep fuel on the fire of racism. And they use terms like liberal and conservative in order for you to take a position off the facts of the subject, to get you offended rather than understanding what is going on. That's the reason why people cannot accept what they, and I'm going to keep on saying it again and again, what they call facts. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Let's get back to this hypothetical situation. Young man, could you please come out of the street and walk on the sidewalk, because the law says that is jaywalking. And I don't want to see you get hurt, or I don't want someone to come down here who's driving in the road looking at you and not paying attention and could possibly hit you, cause injury not only to themselves but to you as well. I'm sure the young man would have said, yes, sir, officer, I would do that. But watch this. Now, I want y'all to excuse what I'm about to say, because I need to put this to show you the difference between a proper response and not a proper response. A peace officer, police of authority who's representing the state of Missouri. He drives down the road. He sees a black man walking down the middle of the line. He pulls up next to him. What the F are you doing? You get your back on the other side of that damn street. Be it wrong or right, you talk to someone like that that has personal pride, they're going to respond. Now, you and I may not like the way, first of all, we don't know what has been said. Right now, we don't know. But I tell you what, if people approach you with respect, more than likely you're going to respond with respect. Now, I understand that in this country, depending on geographical location, because I live out here where the stop signs say whoa. And there's only one reasonable family besides the community on this road. And we are very good friends with them. The rest of them, these folks are psychotically and chaotically insane. They shoot at each other up here, up the road. White folks up here, what you people will call po white trash. Up here, they shoot at each other. I think I'm gonna drive by. It's been like it for a week. I think I'm gonna drive by their yard and do a video. I'm gonna show you the opposition that I have to see and people have to see when they come to this community. And if you've been to this community, you know when you first turn that corner onto this road like here, the first thing you'll say, my God, I hope this ain't the community. Whew. But then by the time you get to the end of the road where the community is, you breathe a sigh of relief and go, whoo, and we look like paradise considering the opposition up here, because these some trashy people. So these people process thought and think differently than we do, or the neighbor up the street who we say has sense, in which we have chosen to be good friends with. Do you understand? But more than likely, were you wearing a badge or uniform or not, just because you have a uniform on, you do not get respect. Do you understand? Respect is earned. And most of you people don't understand inner city living. I grew up in the inner city. I know what it means to hear gunshots and ambulances and watching people being bought out on a gurney, dead with a white sheet over the top of them, or in the streets they pick them up and they got the markings in the street. And this is Nashville, Tennessee. East Nashville at that. As a young boy, that's what I grew up seeing. And then when you constantly look at all the things that are taking place right here, you have to understand, this system thinks one way, we think another. But if that police officer, I said if that police officer approached that young man that way, he's not going to have his character challenged, and he's not going to just, even back then, during the times of slavery and the Jim Crow laws and all this stuff, hey, there were slaves. Any of you people ever heard of Nat Turner? Have you ever heard of Nat Turner? If you have never heard of Nat Turner, you probably ought to go on YouTube here and educate yourself and see. Because Nat Turner wanted to free himself and anybody else who he could free. But not only that, Nat Turner killed the oppressor. Now, Nat Turner had a perspective and viewpoint, and the people who oppressed him, which just happened to be rich white people, had a perspective and viewpoint. And Nat Turner sought revenge and got it. And he ended up dying because he lived by the sword, which he was willing to do. And he died by the sword. And these other people who don't believe that they living by the sword because they are oppressing the poor, they live by the sword and enjoyed the free labor of these oppressed people, and they died by the sword. Now you have to understand, the white America at this time, they were appalled. I can't believe, this is an outrage. But Nat Turner was bringing inspiration to the slaves that were oppressed by the white people. And many people started joining his cause, and they started murdering white folks left and right. Now, wait a minute. The question needs to be asked, how many blacks that were brought over here against their will from their own homeland, taken from their homeland, and have been raped, robbed, murdered, and pillaged? See, this is the stuff that the people want you to forget, and they don't understand the undertone of the reason why the black community in this country, in this world, called the United States of America, responds a certain way. You see, they don't believe what the establishment is selling or putting down because they already know what justice is. Now, if you grow up in white America, you don't know what justice is. How many times you ever rubbed elbows in this court system? Let me give you a quick understanding of how this court system works real quick, all right? The truth is that the judges, the law enforcement agencies, and the corporations are all in bed together. The judges here in America are paid by the taxpayers, the federal government, and so is the law enforcement. So when this man is laying on the street, guess who the coroner works for? He works for the same system that the law enforcement agents, this fraternity, and the judges work for. By the time you get up here and you get an attorney, who do they work for? The same system. See, it's the system, and then there's the people. And the system can only make money off of the people because government can't produce anything. Do you understand? They can only take. And that's the reason why we all are taxed half to death in this country. Most of you people never heard of this perspective before because they strategically keep this from you because it's not about justice, it's about strategy. All right? Now, it is a literal insult to the minorities in this country to say that these injustices can continue to be perpetuated against us as a people, no matter who you are. And to think that you're going to get justice by an unjust system that operates by a forked tongue on stolen ground. Did you hear what I said? They operate by a forked tongue on stolen ground. Now, what's going to happen is that if this thing ever makes it to a trial, if it ever makes it to court, where they so-called a grand jury. Number one, a grand jury don't mean a damn thing in this country because, you see, this is a professional circus, a professional dog and pony show. Because no matter what amount of evidence is submitted, all right, to the judge is the one that is going to determine what can be spoken about and what cannot be spoken about in front of the court. The court consists of the jury, the officers of the court, the attorneys, the court stenographer, and then the people who are on the other side of the bow. All right? And so the attorneys can only, because they have to tell the judge what they're going to present and what they're going to say. And it makes no difference, no side. What side? It makes no plaintiff. It makes no side of defense. It makes no difference whatsoever at all. So they're back here, and the judge is determining what can be talked about and what cannot be talked about. And then the people who are the victims, because remember, they want you to have their attorney because in their system of where they have a language, they view you as incompetent. And you are, and I am. But we know what we're trying to say and what we're talking about, but they're not interested in that because it's all about strategy. It's not about justice. It's about whoever can present the best strategy and win. That's what it's all about. And sometimes if you're a corporation and you commit an injustice against the people of this land, even if you have to pay a fee, all right, you still won because it's better to pay $1 million than $20 million. So it's a win for you. It's a win for you. And guess what? The politicians, they spend their life begging for money, but they want to jump on the preachers and begging for votes. This is a dog and pony show. So anyway, by the time you get to the court system, all right, the people who are for the defense attorney and the people who have had the injustice perpetuated against them, they have already been well schooled and well trained by their lawyers, their attorneys. They teach you how to talk. They teach you what to say. And the jury is totally naive of the facts. Because have you ever seen anyone get up there on the stand and ever see them go off script and ever see them or ever hear them tell the story the way that they want it? No, I'm going to tell you it's not going to happen. Because they have a series of questions to make these people think that they're getting it. But this is all a dog and pony show. Because the judge is the one who determines what's going to be admissible evidence, what's not, what's going to be said, and what's not going to be said. And if you go off script, they're going to hold you in contempt of court, and then that guy over there got that gun, he going to come and get your ass and throw you in jail until you come to your senses. Then the trial may possibly can resume. If not, they'll call it a mistrial, and then this thing is postponed for a longer period of time. And it's just sad. It's just sad what goes on. And hey, you don't understand how the system and the courts work in this land. Let me look up another scripture right here while I'm at it. So the jury is being told a side of the case. They're not getting all the facts. No, they're not. None whatsoever at all. And they're being totally led down the aisle of deception. And it's up to them to try to read between the lines of what's being said and what's not being said. Because after all, when you have a jury that has been shot up with vaccines, it's got mercury in them, and they got the flu shots that's got mercury in them, and then they eat GMO modified foods, and then they breathe in chemical trails every time they go outside. What kind of mind do you think these people have? Whose only care in life is how they're going to be able to get their prescription drugs and how they're going to stay entertained with the next sitcom that's coming out. And I mean, this is our society. Dumb, dormant, docile, and demoralized. And when I come on here and start telling you people what's really, truly going on, all of a sudden, see, they don't want presenters of information and truth. They don't want people like me out in the front to give you exactly what's going on. They want to keep you deceived. They want to keep you naive so that you won't be able to make a rational decision. Because, see, I'm trying to get people to understand why these people are responding the way they do up there in Ferguson, Missouri. Even you as a child. Do you remember as a child when you, I'm talking about you as a child. If you had a brother or sister and they done something to you and you felt like that mom and daddy did not judge the right way, you felt like that you've been misrepresented, or you had a false judgment, or you was punished unjustly, the first natural instinct that took place was you put a frown on your face, you stomped off, you tried to express, they told you to shut up, and you shut up too because you didn't want to get that bam, 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 bam. You went to your room, and you know why you responded like that? Because you felt like you was not heard. You felt like, now, was it right? It totally irrelevant whether it's right or not. All that is going to be determined at a later time. Right now, we're dealing with the facts on the table at hand. We're dealing with a response. Because every action will create an equal reaction. And the cry of the people of this land is no justice, no peace. And when you went and stomped off from your mom and daddy, you was like, I'm not going to allow peace into this place right here because I don't feel like that I've got any justice. Now, which one of us have forgotten that is just the human nature of every man, woman, and child on this land? How many of us? And then you get these spin doctors out there who want to try to lace questions and present what they call facts, and all these facts open to interpretation because the coroner works for the same establishment. And can you really truly trust what the coroner says? No, And witnesses can be bought, bribed, and paid off. Have you ever heard of that taking place before? So all these people out here are rushing to judgment, jumping to conclusions. I'm not making any judgment. I'm presenting things the way I think that it has happened, the way I know that the real world functions. And boy, people are just literally making me an enemy. Now, whether we like it or not, there are people in that area who are in professional jobs up there who choose to send me information. And there are eyewitness accounts like that account I just read yesterday, who they're getting out these flyers and they choose to send it to me, and I'm reporting it because I'm letting you people, hey, something's going to blow up. I'm telling you that if it was not a concern, because they already are rented out hundreds of hotel rooms for so-called National Guard or peace officers. All right? Now, if there wasn't a concern that this man is going to be acquitted and there's going to be no justice in the land, then they wouldn't have to prepare because it's cut and dry. The police is a fraternal order. And this is what you white and black officers need to understand. You're fine and good as long as you stay within the confines of that order. But you step outside of the confines of that order, you become an enemy. And you will be turned against, and you will be scrutinized, marginalized, and you will be treated very ill. And that's the reason why today that most of the police, they have their sentiment is, I got to feed my family. This is my job. And what plus of a job? I mean, there ain't no more plus of a job than being a police officer. I mean, pretty much you get to wear a nice uniform. You get to sit on your ass and drive around in cars and go to coffee shops, donut shops, and write reports and stuff. There's a total contrast between a police officer and some of these other jobs out here. And what I get that sentiment from, because I have police officers and sheriffs of other counties and stuff who, when they see me, how you doing, preacher? Because I'm a peaceable man. Whether you understand it or like it or not, I'm an honorable man. It makes no difference to me whether you understand it, like it or not. I'm a truthful man. I believe in both sides of the story being told. But if one side can't be told, then I don't give no. I don't want to hear it. It makes no difference to me because that ain't what the Torah says. And when you carry yourself respectable, you carry yourself honorable, then people will treat you with respect and with honor, no matter what position that they're in. But hey, I got police officers up here in this county and stuff that make racial slurs about me and get on social media networks and type in stuff and say stuff about me and know nothing about me. You tell me how professional that is and what kind of confidence can I have in them. That's why I told you. Again, the sheriff's department up here in Macon County, Tennessee, called Lafayette, is jacked up as hell. It is the worst damn law enforcement agency that you probably ever damn run across in your life. Now, the city police, they are some of the most professional police officers that I have ever met in my life. Now, what is the difference? The difference is who is in authority, because corruption starts at the top and it runs down. That's the difference. And I know the difference. You see, I've traveled much, therefore I know much. I've been around in this world, and I've been a victim of this so-called system of justice. And I know exactly what's going on. Don't you trust the system? Don't you trust the judges and stuff? I tell you what's going to happen, though. Either way it goes, we're going to get a reaction from this, whether we like it, understand it, or not. Don't get mad at me simply because I'm telling you the truth of this system. And that you can't expect that damn Bill O'Reilly to ever understand our plight as a people, of black people in this country. That damn Bill O'Reilly, he's a spin doctor. He's a racist spin doctor. He don't give a damn about the plight of the black people. And you know, I'm going to get some videos and show you the minds of these people, all right? Now, I'm telling you, and I want you all to listen to me very closely. I'm trying to tell you people something. You listen to me. We're going back to the scripture, James 2:6. But ye have despised the poor, do not rich men oppress you and draw you before their judgment seats. I'm trying to tell you something. Be you black, or be you white, or be you Hispanic or other in this country. If you're not part of the club of the rich, then you are oppressed as a people, because they set the laws, they pass the law, and you will not get any justice in this land. The other day I was going down the road, Highway 52 here, right? And I saw this car going by. I couldn't tell how fast it was going and stuff. And there was a state trooper behind us, about two or three cars, right? And I sit there and watch this state trooper just literally cut a damn fool. Turn around, whoa, going after this car. Now, mind you, it had to break all these laws, endanger the public safety, just in order to catch somebody who's maybe going 10 to 15 miles over the speed limit to give them a ticket. And I wonder how that officer is going to approach that person, because you don't know if their wife just got finished chewing their butt out, if they allow that, you know what I mean? Or they had a bad hair day, or either their superiors just got finished getting on them for not meeting the quota of tickets that month. I don't know what issues people, but there is a human element to everything we do. And that's just the truth. But hey, what can I say? What can I say? I'm going to continue to keep talking about this and keep an eye on this, because you people need to understand, not only have you been deceived in this what they call civilization, you have been equally been deceived on the religious viewpoint, especially by that religion of Christianity. And I will tell the truth about that wicked, satanic, devilish religion until the day I die. It's a farce. And the only way you're going to find out, you need to actually go listen to me. You need to really truly do to find out. But most of you comfortable in your idolatry. Yeah, you are. You ain't thinking about that. But I'm telling you what, Christianity's got to be Mystery Babylon. No doubt about it. Got to be Mystery Babylon. But anyway, hey, man, these some long videos. Shalom. I'll catch up with you on the other side.